Let's dive into one of the most overlooked, but honestly, one of the most destructive dangers in the world of solar installations. We're not talking about wiring or efficiency or anything like that. We're talking about the raw, brute force of the wind and its absolutely shocking ability to rip an entire solar array clean off a roof.
I mean, you see the pictures, and it seems impossible, right? These things are bolted down with heavy-duty hardware. So how does this even happen? That is the central mystery that we are going to crack wide open in this explainer. And here's the really scary part. A system can look totally fine for months, sometimes even years. It'll survive storm after storm, and you're thinking, yeah, this thing is solid. But that's a false sense of security, because the real weakness is hidden, growing silently, until one day, it all comes crashing down.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we have to understand the force we're dealing with. A solar panel might just look like a simple, flat rectangle to us, but to the wind, it behaves almost exactly like an airplane wing. So check this out. As wind rushes over the panel, it has to travel a little bit further and faster over the curved top surface compared to the flat bottom. This creates a pressure difference. You get high pressure underneath pushing up and low pressure on top pulling up. And that difference creates a really powerful upward force that we call lift. And this, right here, is the crucial part. This isn't a simple relationship where a little more wind means a little more force. No way. The uplift force actually increases with the square of the wind speed, and that has some pretty dramatic consequences.
This chart just perfectly illustrates what we're talking about. Look at this. If you double the wind speed, say from 50 to 100 miles per hour, you don't just get double the force, you get 4 times the force. It's exponential. And that's exactly why a storm that seems just a bit stronger than the last one can cause a sudden, catastrophic failure.
Okay, so we've got this incredible upward force yanking on the array. But where does the system actually break? You know, the panel itself is pretty tough. The metal rails are strong. The real weak point is often much, much smaller.
And just to put this into perspective, a single, standard solar panel can experience hundreds of newtons of uplift force. That's kind of like having a full-grown person constantly trying to pull it right off your roof during a big storm. Now, just imagine that multiplied by 10, 20, or even 30 panels. The forces we're talking about are absolutely enormous. So let's follow the energy. Let's trace that force through the system. It starts on the surface of the panel, right? Then it transfers through the clamps and into the mounting rails. But all of that accumulated force from every panel has to go somewhere. And it all gets concentrated on the handful of fasteners, the screws, the bolts that connect the entire system to the roof. That right there is your weakest link.
All right, so now we know our main culprit, that uplift force, and we know the crime scene, the fasteners. Now let's talk about the hidden accomplices. These are the real-world, nitty-gritty engineering details that are so easy to overlook and can lead directly to disaster.
This concept is so important. It's called cyclic loading. The best way to think about it is to imagine bending a paperclip back and forth, right? A single bend won't break it, but if you keep doing it over and over, that repeated stress weakens the metal until it just snaps. Well, wind does the exact same thing to your solar mounts, constantly pushing and pulling day in and day out.
And this timeline really shows how that invisible damage adds up. In the first year, those fasteners might loosen up just a tiny bit. In year 2, the metal itself starts to get tired. It fatigues from all that constant movement. And then, maybe in year 3, a storm that the brand new system could have handled easily is now suddenly strong enough to cause a complete and total failure.
Here is another absolutely critical factor. Location. I'm serious. Wind behaves totally differently depending on where it is on a roof. Those aerodynamic forces get dramatically amplified right at the edges and especially at the corners. A panel installed in one of those zones can get hit with 2 to 3 times the uplift force as a panel right in the middle of the roof.
And of course, here are some other classic, all too common mistakes. Spacing the rails too far apart lets them bend and flex, which leads to fatigue. Using fasteners that are too small or just not rated for the job is just asking for them to be pulled out. And not using the right torque on the clamps, well, that can let the panels slip, or even worse, damage their frames, creating yet another weak point in the system.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time looking at how things can go horribly wrong. So now, let's flip it. Let's talk about how to get it right. How do you build a system that can actually fight back against the wind and win?
Honestly, it all comes down to these 5 critical points. Number 1, you have to anchor into the structural members, the rafters, the trusses, the actual bones of the house, not just the thin plywood sheathing. 2, follow the manufacturer's specs for spacing. They exist for a very good reason. 3, be aware of those high-risk edge zones and use more fasteners or stronger parts there. 4, use a torque wrench. Make sure every single connection is exactly as tight as it's designed to be, not too loose, not too tight. And finally, number 5, just check on it once in a while. A periodic inspection to catch a loose bolt early can prevent the entire array from failing down the road.
And let's be crystal clear about why this is so critical. When an array fails, it's not just about costly damage to your system and your roof. It means a 50-pound, 2-square-meter metal and glass wing is now flying through the air. That's a serious threat to property and, way more importantly, to people. So if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this quote right here. Building a solar installation that's going to last isn't about designing it for a nice, calm, sunny day. It is about engineering it for the absolute worst storm it might ever have to face in its lifetime. Because when you're dealing with the power of the wind, you do not get second chances.